These roots look very cool. Looks like this ZZ plant is ready to be repotted in soil. Hey guys, Martin here from Big Boy Plants. So a while back we published a video on how to grow and care for a ZZ plant. It's worth to say that the Zanzibar gem is also known as the eternity plant because of its easy propagation. Today we are presenting the next part, and I will show you how to propagate this plant in water and then repot it in soil without a hassle and have a new healthy ZZ plant for your home or to give away to friends or family. Stay tuned. Alright, so before moving on with the steps to propagate your ZZ plant, let's have a look at the materials or instruments that you will need to get ready beforehand. First and foremost, you will need a sharp knife or shears. Make sure to sanitize this tool to protect the mother plant from any disease. Then you will also need a container with water. You can use a glass like this one, or maybe you can choose a bigger one if your cutting is bigger than the one that I will show you. Another option is to have a glass or container with clean sand if you don't want to propagate your plant in water. This might be a good option as well. I have seen that other plant owners choose this method. We'll try it out, as I have seen that this also can work well. Last but not least, we have the mother plant. Make sure to choose a healthy stem with leaves, so the chances of a successful propagation are higher. Also, keep in mind that later on, you may need a pot with soil if you decide to move your cutting from water to soil once it has rooted properly. Alright, now let's jump to the action. First, we will talk about propagation using stem cuttings, and then I will show you the second method, which is leaf cuttings. You can follow the steps that I will show here. First, cut off a stalk at the base of your plant, making a straight cut with the sanitized knife in this case, or you may also use shears. Then place the cut stem in the container with water. So I decided to go with a smaller container, and I'm gonna place the stem cutting here, and just want to make sure that it's sustained, so not like just the tip of the stem at the base is underwater. So yeah, we want to avoid the water covering all the stem. I think that's not necessary. As mentioned before, we will experiment with leaving a cutting in sand to see how it goes as well. So this is brand new. Change out the water every 3 to 4 weeks. If you forget, it's not a big deal as long as you don't see mold growing. Keep the cutting near to a window where it can receive bright light, but be sure to control the exposure to direct sunlight. This is the best way to encourage your ZZ cutting to grow without getting the leaves scorched. When your cutting has grown a rhizome and at least 1 inch of new roots, as you can see here, it's time to repot to soil if you wish. If you decide to repot your cutting, here's how to do it. You can use a pot with drainage holes at the bottom. This is very important. Some people use a nursery pot or a grower pot, but in this case, I'm using standard pot made of ceramic. In regards to the soil, you can also use coco coir as an add-on when potting your ZZ plant. This can help to protect the roots and stems from rot and beyond ensuring that the plant is well fed. You may also add a portion of perlite to improve nutrient and moisture balance. As I said before, drainage in the pot and the soil is key because These plants like it moist but not soggy, so you may want to minimize any risk of overwatering and therefore of root rot. Put a minimum of 2 inches of potting mix into the pot. This buffer gives your plant's roots some space to grow comfortably before needing to repot again. So you can see here how I left some space, enough space I think, because I want to grow this CC plant as high as the mother plant. You can place the cuttings pressing softly into the soil. Make sure to open enough space so the roots can fit in. And then be sure to gently put some soil on top of it until you get it properly stand and firm into the soil. After that, water thoroughly. Run the stream of water around the circumference of the pot and then add a line through the middle across the diameter to ensure even watering of all the roots. Alright, so let's talk about the leaf propagation method. Leaf cuttings will take more time to develop a rhizome and roots, but you can still a valid option for you. These are the steps. Cut off a leaf as close to the stalk as possible, taking a little bit of the stem with it. Then place the leaf's stem into the potting mix directly, about 1 centimeter deep max. Here we will use the remaining space in the new pot to place the leaf cuttings so this new stem doesn't look lonely. You probably want to take multiple leaf cuttings, as shown here, to give more life to your new plant. As well, if you only decide to choose leaf cuttings, water the pot and leaves and let it soak in, and wait maybe a couple of weeks to water again after being very soaked. Now let's talk about some basic caring guidelines that you'll need to grow your new CC plant. So it requires watering once a week or 2 weeks. Just avoid overwatering. This plant prefers temperature between 65 Fahrenheit and maximum 90 Fahrenheit. Place it in a well-lit position, as we mentioned before, and minimize direct sunlight. And of course, keep it in a humid environment and mist it around if it's needed. Now let's go through some of the most frequently asked questions related to this plant and this process that we have seen online. Question number 1. Why is my CC plant turning yellow? Well, here you have probably denied the plant enough water, or the soil is overwatered as well. Too much that the roots can't breathe. So make sure to check the watering levels, the soil moisture. Ideally, you want a moist but not soggy soil. Next question, how do you keep your CC plant upright? And here you can rotate the plant after a few days so that your leaves and stem can enjoy the benefits from the indirect but bright light in all directions. You may use a trainer if necessary while the plant is young, but the stem should be enough strong to hold the training system. Now let's move on to the next question. How long does this plant live? This is a perennial plant and lifespan will depend on the care that you provide. So make sure to follow the recommendations that we suggested before and you will have a plant that could last for several years. Another interesting question that we found online is if these plants can be toxic. The sap can be toxic sometimes if you ingest it. So I didn't use gloves here, but you can use them if you want, or wash your hands after performing this process. Last but not least, is the CC plant suitable for the bedroom? And here you will be glad to hear that the CC plant purifies the air indoor and will eliminate some toxic agents from your air. Alright, that's it for today's video. I hope this propagation guide is useful if you are considering to replicating your CC plant as we did here. So I'll keep you posted and maybe publish an update when this new plant grows more, and hopefully we can achieve size and a new plant that is healthy as this one. All right, if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to publish a new video every week, whether it's a guide on a specific houseplant or propagation guides, or sometimes we also do tours here in different houses or around the block. All right, so I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, happy planting.